Welcome to Planning Phase Syndicate. Thank you all so much for joining us. This is episode 91. Tonight we have a lot of lists and a lot of results to go over. Plus, on top of that, we have some cool new first look at a Lawless Time. So FFG released an article. Thought we kind of go over it, maybe give a few predictions, probably just see if we can stump Alex and go from there. With that being said, please welcome to the show, Alex, the benchwarmer. How are you today, sir?
Oh, doing better. Pretty sick for past week or so. So if you hear any roughness in my voice, it's from that. I'm alive.
Fair enough. You made it through the other side, so there you go. Also joining us is Sam, the youngling. How are you tonight, Sam?
Good. Been gone for however many weeks now, but now I'm back. School starts tomorrow, so we should be back to normal.
Have more time when school is going than not.
Exactly.
Also joining us is JJ. The Giants still suck, and they might get first pick, though, so
no,
should be happy. No?
Unfortunately, we piss it all away by winning the last 3 games for some reason, so... But hey, we'll still end up with a number 6 pick. So I guess, yay.
Sound like a Lions fan there.
Yeah, a little bit.
And also, I randomly got to challenge Sam while he was testing out his deck on stream the other night, and that was a nice back and forth battle until the very end. Man, that was good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Did you lose, JJ?
Yeah, I did.
Streaming
kept
like
on
every
wiping
day.
each other's board though. It was hilarious.
Fair enough. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, we stream live in our Discord, usually once or twice a week. We also have a Patreon live stream that we do. This week, Sam will be doing Han 1 for everybody, since that was what was requested. I think we probably owe 2 streams this week, because I don't think we did one last week. With the holidays and then me being sick and everything, it was pretty crazy. My work life is almost doubled what it was, so I'm doing a lot more at work right now, so I'm having less time during the day. I don't have useless meetings. I can sit around and like do things that I used to have. Now I have actual projects, lots of projects, and this year is going to be pretty busy for me. I did get to go out to the east side, but I didn't get to see anybody. I was going to go play at Black Vault Gaming until I realized how far that was from Novi. That's crazy. Like, I don't like, it's like we talk about Detroit, but it's not really all Detroit. Like, they live like wherever that is like northeast side, like crazy. And so like, it's like almost like if we had to go to Muskegon from Zealand, that's what it feels like. So, I don't know. So I ended up skipping out on that. I did bring all my decks though, and my wife was going to go see a movie with the kids, so like I didn't even need to be home. But I did not feel like driving an hour east to then have to drive 3 hours west, and I didn't know if it would snow or not. But tournament season is obviously in full swing. This week we had a Sector qualifier that we're going to cover, as well as we're going to talk a little bit about other PQs that have happened over the last week, or I guess really over the weekend, especially for those of you who are prepping for sector qualifiers in Arizona, as well as PQs over the next 2 months. With that being said, let's kick it off though with a look at a Lawless Time spoilers. And I say this because there was an article that was dropped. And this article essentially gave us kind of a first look into what it is. So, I don't know, did any of you guys read the article that came out by chance?
Skimmed it.
Yeah, I kind of saw the shiny cards and went like, nope, I'm sorry. I have a short attention span now.
All right,
Yeah,
well, good.
I don't need to read.
All right, so basically what they're going to do is they obviously, we know multi-aspect cards are coming. They are going to have new frame and exciting deck building opportunities. So the first point they said is the set contains characters from 7 different teams from throughout the Star Wars franchise, each assembled from a different heist or rescue mission. So
Do
JJ,
people actually, do they have team names in Star Wars? I hope not.
I
That'd be
don't.
kind of lame.
I don't remember them having team names. JJ, am I like I don't know what they're talking about? Like teams, like unless it's like Han and Leia, right? Like, are we gonna get a Han and Leia?
Yeah,
So,
no, and
I mean,
Luke and
when
Han and C-3PO rescued Leia.
so for me, when they say teams, I kind of think factions, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't make sense, right? Because I think of like the Spectre units, I think of like early Rebels, I'll think about like Crimson Dawn, right? Those are like teams of people, not necessarily part of a faction,
I guess
or like
Spectres is
Mandalorians
a
and stuff
team.
like that. But based on the image photos, some of these teams that they're putting together, I'm not 100% sure exactly where they fit, right? Because, for instance, you look at Rio Durant, right? That's part of Tobias Beckett's gang, and I don't know if they had a team name per se, right?
Yeah, I don't remember one. That's why I was asking you. Is that seems weird to me.
Skeleton
Yeah.
Crew.
We could get a skeleton crew. There is that possibility that
Oh, that'll be
has
dope.
been out long enough. That would check a bucket list off, or a check off of JG's bucket list.
Yes.
The other thing is do you think we get a snap now? Like now that they talk about this, like do we actually get a Snap Wexley and his droid?
I mean, we have Snap as a pilot in the game.
Yeah, but I want him
Yeah,
as
but
a
we
leader.
want young Snap.
Yeah, we want
and,
young Snap and
Nora.
yes.
You just like Mr. Bones.
I just like Mr. Bones. Yes, get me a
Man,
Mr. Bones character.
I would love to see also the Hut character that lived on Jakku, and she's actually like a real threat. She, because of the harsh environment in Jakku, she's actually a much more slimmer Hut, and she's actually super fast compared to all the other like Huts like Jabba and stuff. It would be cool to see like a drawing of that Hut.
It's just like a snake lady.
Yeah, she's more like a snake, but she's a relative of the Huts.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get that. I think that's a little more niche.
Yeah,
than
that's
they're gonna
really
get.
like horror, like corner canon. Yeah, that should be my next pick though for leaders.
Skippy the Force droid.
Oh my god, yeah, Skippy, Skippy the Force droid. Yeah.
The next one is a small but memorable sub-theme with a set that revolves around exchanging control of game pieces with 9 total cards, giving away, taking, or exchanging cards with an opponent.
Exchanging cards is wild.
So that reminds me of Sabak, right, JJ? Like that's like what that feels like, because that's in Sabak you have the different things that you can do to be able to trade cards with people. There's like little chits. I don't remember what they call them, but there's these little chits, I think. And I think each one of these chits does something different in the game. So I wonder if we're getting like some Sabak type stuff where like if you have a Sabak card, you could trade it, with an opponent and steal one of their units or something. That would be pretty cool. There is multiple leaders with more than one non-hero or villain aspect in this set. So does that mean we're getting more DJs with double yellows type thing, or are we getting just more like leaders that have multiple aspects on them?
I think
mean,
we're
if
probably
you have,
getting
like-
leaders from multiple aspects. Yeah.
I think both.
I don't know. I mean, like a blue-green leader with like a red base seems kind of wild, right? Even if they don't have access to the hero and villainy cards, which is a major thing for DJ. Don't get me wrong. It's just that'd be pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Hero villain leader, just no other aspects, just hero villainy.
No,
Give us the most broken card in the game.
that will never happen. They
Oh,
also
Shenmei.
nope. The set also contains 32 alien species among its non-unique units. I don't know that. Whatever. I don't care about that. They are
Thorians.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
JJ has to Google it. He's Googling it. You can see the
It's those
Google in
guys
his
with
eyes.
The shoehorn looking dudes.
I don't know
Not
who
the
they are.
shoehorn. No, the thing that you use to measure the feet in the shoe stores. That's what they're. They had like the 2/6 Force guy in green last set. That's what those guys are.
Fair enough. They also are going to introduce a new trait in this set for 2 unique units. This trait will be rarely used, as it's for a kind of character that isn't common in Star Wars, but every appearance is memorable. JJ, are we going to get Evil Droid as a trait? Is that like what we're
No.
going to get?
Oh, that'd be great.
What are we getting, Alex, then?
I don't know. I was hoping for some sort of like linked trait, like just multiple versions of like IG-88, right? So they're like linked.
They're not. No.
Why
No.
not?
Give me just fast and slow vehicles. Just give me the most useless trait you can possibly think of.
What if we get like a version of Chopper that allows him to like pilot multiple ships at once?
Yeah. We have that already, don't we?
I don't think Chopper's a pilot.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah, switches.
Just an X-wing.
True.
Yeah.
Fair enough. The next one is they are going to introduce a verb to our card template terminology for the kind of effect that we've had in card abilities since Spark of Rebellion. I don't like.
My assumption is that like this attack ends, or like when this attack ends, like they did with that Cassian reveal.
Oh,
That'd be my guess.
that could be. They also said the leaders in the set are designed with higher risk, higher reward mechanics than the kinds of leaders we've designed in the past. You'll have to be strategic about when and how you spend your resources, or discard your cards, or defeat your units, or give tools to your opponent in order to reach their full potential.
Just sounds like Palpatine.
Yeah, so well, no,
Trench.
yeah, I'd say it sounds more like a little bit more like Trench or DJ. But you know what this means? This means that like whatever leaders are good now, once rotation starts, that those are the leaders. Like these leaders are going to be like really hard to get into competitive play. The next one is just kind of subtitles. I'm not going to go over the subtitles. I will say there is a campaign art though, and he's with Palpatine. JJ, who is the guy pointing the gun at him though?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that
It's
out. actually.
Obi-Wan.
It's not
Is it?
Obi-Wan.
No, it's
Yeah,
only
because
one
when-
in disguise.
Mm-hmm. When he
That's
did
what
his
was
faking
told
the
to me.
death thing.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's
That's what was told to me.
his
Mhm.
alter ego.
The bounty hunter guy that's real but dead.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the name because I've wanted that guy in X-wing as a scumpire for like forever.
Well, it's
So-
not the Terminator, dude. So that's a shame.
So that means that might mean we're getting a new Obi-Wan then, if that's the case. That could be a high probability. I'm kind of hoping we get a new Cad Bane. They also said a pair of characters have been much requested on social media are finally getting their first unit cards. Who is that?
It's a 000 and BT1.
Is it
That would be my guess. People are popular, right?
Sam? What do you think?
The BD0 thing. I'm trying to find that. I don't even know.
It's BT1 and 000. They're the average droids, and they did
Oh,
release artwork for them too.
so this is blasphemous, apparently, in PPS with how you guys love Afra. I don't know anything about Afra or who she is or read anything relating to her ever. So I need to catch up here of who she is or anything like that.
Well, read the book then.
Archaeologist.
She's an archaeologist who worked for Vader. Go read the books. Go read the.
That's
They're
the
even
only
comics.
thing I know. She's an archaeologist, and she
liked
was
bones.
in X-Wing.
Yeah, she
They-
worked with Vader.
They also said one of the leaders of the set has received multiple leader cards before, but this time they're sporting a new and less known look. Obi. There you go. That's what that'll be.
Is it Han?
No.
I was
that's
going to
my
say
mind
Boba
first
Fett
went.
because it's always Boba Fett.
Oh. Well, no, because they've done hero
Mm.
and villainy for him, so there's no other really. Oh, maybe it's little Jank or little Boba, like young Boba.
Rough.
Baby Boba.
Mandalorian Boba.
They also are going to have wacky traits. I don't know why those are wacky. Underworld bounty hunter Wookiee. Like,
Still Curse Hanton.
yeah, I was gonna say it's Chris Hansen.
Yeah, percent.
we
Is he
know
on
who that
Westworld,
is. Rebel
Kind of any
Tuscan
other
bounty
one,
hunter.
right?
Who's the Rebel Tuscan bounty hunter?
Isn't that Lando with the mask?
That was my guess.
Yes, that would be my guess too.
But like, I guess
I've-
that's just
yeah.
fancy
He's not-
guard armor.
He's not really Tuscan. Well, who's the who isn't there a Tuscan in Saw's gang?
That's Benthic,
Mm.
but he's not Tuscan. I don't know how to.
Yeah, he's not a
explain
Tuscan.
You're not talking about Emphas Nest, right?
No, because I don't think she's
That looks like a-
Tuscan.
Yeah, she it kind of looks like a Tuscan helmet, but yeah, no.
But she's not though. She's actually
no.
not.
No.
Um,
I'll be right back, guys.
There's no Rebel Tuscan according to Google because I was just gonna look it up. So it's got to be someone in disguise of some sort.
I mean, I guess that would make sense then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The other one, leaders going in this set double. A leader in this set double specific trigger abilities in the same way Thrawn does. So that's kind of cool. Staples from Spark of the Rebellion are going to return with a new truist with 2 variants of remove all unit events and 2 new cards that accelerate your resource generation permanently.
Permanently.
What do you think? So does that mean we're getting super laser tech or super laser blast back?
Well, it says with a twist, right? So it's not a super laser blast. It's going to be like Star Killer based blast things. I don't know. But
Nebula
they're probably
ignition.
not going to do like an 8 cost just remove all units. But also, like, it's funny that they mentioned that when they already have like a remove all units with a twist. Nebula ignition.
And yeah,
I think it's gonna be a resupply, like
I don't
new
know.
variant.
they say
Has-
Gambit's going to be good. This set. We'll see. I don't trust that, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe that's something you'll have to look into to see how many Gambit traits we're getting.
I mean, there's a fair bit of gambits, but you know, we'll see what they'll end up being. Just think like Final Showdown is a gambit or something.
Yeah. There'll be more speeders, and then they will also. There's a pair of effective removal events that references 2 halves of a saying used in the Andor TV show. So really,
Never
that
watch.
what's that?
Never watch, but also like the more speeder units, it's just going to be a bunch of pod racers, right? They already
would-
had,
that's-
like, Sepulveda
that's-
as the art.
That was kind of my assumption, and that like we're gonna get like Sebula or whatever his name is,
Bulba.
Saboba. Yeah, we'll get
Yeah, they
Saboba.
already in a picture, so I'm assuming it's just a bunch of pod racing things.
Ben Quaterneros.
So yeah, so we're not gonna go through the rest of them. There is a couple other things in there, but really like those were kind of the main highlights. They do have a picture of Vader with a broken helmet, which kind of makes me think we might be getting a new Vader unit, or new Vader leader.
You're just gonna glaze past one of the things that says an additional regroup phase.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's right above the Vader helmet. Because they're just like, here, some of these cards say this, like play a card from your hand, ignore against aspect penalties. But one of them is just ... additional regroup phase ...
Third one from the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I did not see that in there.
Yeah. And then also look at all your opponent's resources. You may ... I know you'd love that, Tanner. It's like scanning officer.
I know, probably won't be good though, because they never give me good give me good cards to look at their resources. I would do that though. The additional regroup phase is weird. I guess it's not that weird. I would rather have an additional. Okay, so in Riftbound, there is a card where it costs a shitload, but you play this card and you get to take another turn. And so like if your opponent has no resources, it can't interact with you, you just take another turn. So the character I play, I have a unit that scores you 2 points every time you score a point at a base. So if you're at like 6 and you just play that, if they can't counter that spell, you immediately just win the game because you just go to the next phase and you get to like claim the 2 points again. And then they're like, oh, there's nothing they can do about it. So I wonder if we're getting something crazy like that then.
Well, that would also kind of match with the 2 new cards that accelerate your resource generation permanently. Having a second regroup phase would probably do that.
Yeah. What's really sad is we're going to lose all these staple, like, dual aspect color ones. So, like, dual aspect color cards are not super great as they are, but the 4 staples that we have are going to go away. So,
if they don't get reprinted.
If they don't get reprinted. And maybe they'll reprint them and give them different, like, text, and that's fine with me. As long as I get my vigilance that mills and heals. That's all I care. You could get rid of the shield thing and just let me heal and mill.
They really should take away the mill part of the blue vigilance thing.
Why? Why can't we not live in a world where we have mill? I just don't understand why that's not a good...
Dumb.
You're
it's not
dumb.
Interactive.
Because I would rather have them run out of cards naturally than mill them out.
No, I would rather...
control them that hard.
That's ridiculous. I would rather them not have any cards. No, but that's boring. You can't win every game that way because they could just play slow and then you tie, and it's not fun.
Don't talk to me about not fun when you play blue-green villainy or blue-yellow villainy. Don't you even dare try and talk to me.
Oh, that's fine. You could cheat resources out and play units higher than their cost, but that's okay. That's an okay mechanic to have, but oh no, God forbid Chris gets control. That's just awful. Mm-hmm.
I'm not even on Han anymore. Thank you very much. Don't associate me with that blasphemy.
But you are, because A, that was your old podcast. B, you threatened to write a guide that you never wrote. And
also,
C,
Yoda cheats out units.
Yes, exactly. Well. Like you're not doing anything different. Like the only cheating of units seems to be in Hero. Nobody else ever gets that.
Yep.
It says the 3-cost kill a leader player.
Have more units on the board. Everybody else can do it.
Yeah, don't deploy into 3 resources against with an empty board against blue villainy.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Maybe they should give us a card that says when you hit 12 resources, you could pay half cost for capital ships and just spam them. I wouldn't need removal after that. If I could just play 2 Devastators in a churn, or next turn play an Annihilator in the Devastator.
Hero kind of has that with the Starhawk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful card.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of the new stuff. I'm sure we'll get more in the future. I thought it was kind of interesting, possibly, to kind of look at some of that stuff. We haven't really shared any of the spoilers for this set, so I thought that would be kind of a fun thing to do. I don't know when they're going to start dropping spoilers. I don't know if we're getting one this set. I don't think we are, so we'll see. They said they were going to spread them around, so I'm guessing other podcasts will get them. But before we get into, we're going to talk, I want to talk a little bit about PQ analysis, because I think we have 2 separate topics here where you have PQ analysis and we have sectors. And I think, PQs can be different because people could play other things if they want. They don't have to always strictly play because it's easier to dodge. There's a little bit less stakes on the line. It doesn't cost as much to go to these events. And I kind of want to cover the PQ analysis first before we get into, what does the sectors look like? Because a lot of people are going to the listen to the show are going to some sort of a sector this year, or this set. And I think that's one of the big things that we probably want to do. So with that being said, let's jump into our week 6 PQ analysis. And yes, that is a picture of Rio, baby.
Wonder why.
So you wonder, I don't know why. I just don't, I don't know.
Definitely didn't read ahead.
I don't know why.
Because he was just revealed.
Yeah, he was just
a spoiler.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was.
I know
he seems pretty good with DJ. Won't lie.
Yeah. I know. You need that DJ showcase now.
I have a DJ showcase.
Oh, well, lucky you. I do not have one. All right. The next thing that we talk about. So what I did is I kind of broke down the champions and then top 8s. And so essentially what it is the champion row is the breakdown of the leaders that won this weekend, minus the few that haven't concluded yet. And then the base analysis, because I think a lot of times people complain about, they complain a little bit about, all the green base. And so I thought, well, let's look at that then. Let's actually look and see if that's a bigger thing. And if you look at the top cut, they have the ones that won, there's 6 green bases that won, right? But outside of that, there's more non-green bases that actually won the event. So it isn't like they're disproportionately taking it down.
Well, I mean, like 3 different colors as opposed to 1 color.
Sure.
Right? I mean, but also like those darkened down decks and like the aggressions, cunnings, are they also not a green leader, right?
I don't think they. Some of the cunnings are, not all of them.
Yeah, and I think the Colossus one is, and
yeah.
but
So
it's and a couple of the red ones are like because there's a Piet there.
Sure. So if you look at the leaders, Cad Bane showed up this week, and took a PQ down. So that was crazy. So I bet we'll see a little bit more Cad Bane. Palpatine was the highest winning, so I think we have to nerf Palpatine right now. That's what we just need to say. This is I'm talking for Sam.
Palpatine.
Yeah, we have to nerf Palpatine because he has 3 of them. Yoda only had 2 wins. Palpatine had 3.
Han Solo combined, Han 2 combined had 3 as well.
Yeah. If you look at top 8 and kind of look at your top 8 representation, again, this is where the green kind of comes into play a little bit more. Now you are seeing, over 60% green bases. I do kind of wonder if that's going to actually affect like a data vault ban, unfortunately. So we're going to lose ECL and data vault. I'm hoping we do not lose data vault because I genuinely... I argued for viability for how many months, and then people finally bought into it, and now everybody's playing it. And so now they're going to probably take it away from us.
You had to ruin it.
Yeah, I don't think it was just me. I only won 1 PQ with it, but and
I'm sorry, 100% of the people here on a podcast won a PQ with the green base.
Not data vault base though.
It's true.
There you go. And
Just
that's what
ACL and data vault.
There you go. I know. So it's probably a little bit of a problem, but if we kind of look, this is just kind of a different overview to give you kind of the visuals of what won. So Sabay Tarkentown being in there was kind of interesting. Ray coming back. I guess it was only a 19-person PQ, but Ray coming back. Ray beat out Yoda, by the way. Just throwing that out there. So if people want to run Ray to counter Yoda, and then I can run my Palpatine.
I'm not sure if Ray counters Yoda. They seem very similar, but Yoda, I would assume, tends to have a better end game, even though they're pretty close to the same end game.
Nope. Ray has a high... one of Yoda's hardest decks is Ray for some reason. We covered it last week. We talked about that. So
Kind of just seems whoever wants to draw like a Bo-Katan first.
I don't know. So those are kind of the lists. Anybody, the one limited PQ where they actually posted, it looks like a Jabba won that limited PQ. So yay for Jabba.
Yeah, I mean, Jabba Green is disgusting and limited. Let me tell you. That would be the deck that I would most try to go after. Jabba's just insane and limited.
I know we did a draft this week at locals, and I don't think any of us drafted Jabba, actually. I ended up with Sly Moore. There you go. That's what I ended up with.
I like Sly.
I found out I'm not as good at draft, I don't think. Like, I built a good Sly Moore deck, but it just didn't matter. It just either she must not be as good in draft as the other ones. Like, I had all the villain red and yellow cards. Nobody else was taking villain. It was super exciting, except for Sam was taking a few green, but I wasn't running green, so. But
Yularen, baby.
all right. Anything else you want to talk about before we kind of get into lists? I think like this kind of, I feel the PQ meta has like kind of diversified a little bit. Like seeing the fact that we now have an Anakin, a Sabay, Yoda's not dominating. It's a little weird seeing 3 Pelps in there, but that's good news for us Pelp players for upcoming
Sam,
PQs.
are you gonna play the Han ECL, Han 1 ECL list from London over there?
I have heard rumors of it already. I haven't looked at it in depth, but I'm sure that I'm going to because I started out with that in set 3. I was like, all right, everyone loves ECL, let's do it. And it's horrible and I hate it so much. So I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, I mean it's not super atypical. I mean they have like triple the Rebel Pathfinder, the Raid 2 Saboteur for 3-1, which is interesting. I don't know specifically what they're trying to ECL out, but it's kind of weird.
Man, just
Very,
wait
just
till they see
built around
my
efficiency.
just wait till they see my Han 1 droid manufacturer deck.
There you go.
Well, are you running that at a PQ, Sam? Is that
No, I'm not.
like that's crazy if you are. Like, I mean, you could, I guess. You do owe a Padme.
Or a Nalase.
Or a
It was
Nalase.
Nalase or
Yeah.
Padme.
So
Padme
you do
3,
owe a
baby.
PQ that. So you're going to Ohio next week, and you should just run it there when none of
No.
us are there. So you don't have to worry
I'm
about
there.
any of us shitting on you.
I
you're
would
there?
rather
I'm going,
lose
yeah.
to you guys. Oh wait, Alex, you are?
A lot, yeah. A lot of my
Sweet, me
locals
too.
are going actually. We're bringing
But-
some silly stuff.
Yeah. Wait. How silly we talking here? Because now I might actually bring Padme.
I mean, I'm debating between Lama Su and Palpatine Tarkentown.
Oof, shit. Maybe. All right, we'll see.
I don't need more Thrawns. I'm fine. We're gonna go have fun. Show these people in Ohio what's up with Red Palpatine.
Hopefully, if Ray Tan's
Llama
there you go. You got Ray Tan there, then you know.
Yeah, do you know how just deal with my 7/7 Zam Waxel on turn 2.
All right. So let's move into some of the lists. The first list we're going to cover is a Kylo 2.
Wasn't this Crispy's list?
This is Crispy's list.
Yeah.
That's why I chose it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try to talk about this a little bit because Crispy has some pretty interesting brews when he gets going. So I thought this was look kind of fun, and I was like, I bet Alex would like to cover this list. So
Yeah. I love me
Yeah.
some Shadows Kylo, baby. Yeah, so this is a Red Kylo security complex. So it's got triple the FO Trooper, triple the Guavian Antagonizer, triple Ruthless Gunslinger, double Daring Raid, triple Emergency Powers, 1 Hotshot Blaster, double Infiltrator Skill, triple Krennic, triple Inferno 4, triple Kylo Silencer, triple Migs, triple Force Choke, triple Battle Fury. It's the +3/+3 on attack, discard a card for 2. Triple Axe Woes, which is disgusting with that combo, by the way. Triple the Droid Missile Platform. Triple the Hoth Lieutenant. That's from the Battle of Hoth starter pack. He's a 3/4 for 4. That is essentially a
he's an ambusher.
fleet lieutenant. Yeah,
Yep.
I mean you play him and then you attack with something else. It gets +2. Triple Iden and triple of Krennic Shuttle in the sideboard. You got 2 Armor of Fortune, which I actually really like. Double the Outer Rim Constable, triple Shoot Down, 1 the Chaos of War, and double Lam Pike.
Your favorite card.
It's in my Lama Su deck.
Well, that's a first. I like this deck. I think it's silly though. Like I don't see the point in the blaster in the deck. I still don't see the point.
You can pay 5 and attack.
Like,
It's also like +2 for 1.
Yeah, that's the only real
mean-
reason. Like, just cheap upgrade.
Yeah.
and I guess
It's
that
it's
is-
slightly
Axe
more
Wolves.
versatile than like a Sith Holocron.
true.
But yeah, it's cool. It's just, aggro. Deal with the Kylo swinging pretty hard.
The
Play
question,
emergency powers with Axe Wolves.
I was going to ask on this one for a security complex. Who are you targeting on this?
someone you just don't feel like dying that turn.
Is it always
Probably.
going to be X Wolves? I think that's probably like the best use of it. Probably.
I'm sure it
Uh,
helps. It could be
Migs
like
is also.
MiGs if they're going for it, yeah. I mean, or like you can security complex, some Krennic shuttle, something. Move the shield around if it was like the wrong choice or something. Like just whatever you feel like protecting.
Yeah, because there is a little bit of shenanigans with you could use a shield complex thing to put a shield on somebody. Then sometimes they don't attack into that because then they're like, oh well, screw this, it's a waste. And then you could pull it off of them with a shuttle and put it on something else that they did attack into. You could also
or double stack axe woes, right? Like
yep. You know what the other thing you can do with it too is you can flip your Kylo and then use your shield complex thing on your shuttle, and then that can move or you could play the shuttle, move your shield onto Kylo, and then put another shield right onto that shuttle if you want.
yeah.
I'm a little surprised there isn't like a Vader, like one of Vader pilot in here. Like I think this would probably be okay with a one of Vader pilot.
Man, for 3 resources, I don't think it's worth putting him on there, honestly.
No,
One power against for Kylo,
What?
like one power to the dark side against a Kylo deck just shatters it.
Yeah, why are you deploying on an empty field? How are you getting an empty field with a Kylo deck?
yeah. My
Yeah.
guess is this deck does
a
is
lot of reckless gunslinger.
yeah. You all this deck almost always has two units on the field. I'm a little surprised too. There's not an arm to the teeth in here. I think arm to the teeth, but I guess the infiltrator skill is meant to get you past right the sentinel type stuff. But I love that arm to the teeth in my old Kylo
I do love
deck.
arm to the teeth, and also you can smuggle it out. It just costs 4, so it's a little bit costly. Granted, I haven't played Red Kylo in a couple sets, but I do like decks like this.
Yeah, I think this is a very interesting deck. I like the tech pieces, and like because half these cards are going away. you know, like it's nice to be able to get that deck out before it disappears. Into the ether.
One less hurrah. Yep.
Mike and I actually Von Reg's tie would be pretty interesting in this as well because you can pump it with Vader's ability and actually get like the overwhelm. But if you put like Iden Pilot in there, Mike and I were at some point working on a Gar Saxon Darkentown deck, and it's very similar style feel, I would assume, to this.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I think this is kind of fun. I think I like this would be better than the Gar Saxon only just because like you're either gonna win or lose within like 5 turns, and that's just it. So like Gar Saxon, you have to at least wait till 6 or 7 before you can lose.
It's like I almost would main deck the Armor of Fortune. That's just like so good for that Kylo.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know what you would even cut. Maybe a Hot Shot Blaster, but also sometimes you just smuggle it out for 5 and win a game.
Yep.
I don't know. Do you play the Battle Fury on Axe Wolves? Is that what you're playing that on? Is that the main target for it?
I mean, it turns him into like a 6/6 immediately.
Okay.
I mean, you just play it on whatever, right? Like you can put it on a Guavian Antagonizer turn 2, and now he's a 5/6 Saboteur.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a neat little deck, I thought. The next one we have up is a Cassian 6 Data Vault deck that came in 11th, ironically, the same place that Crispy came in New Hampshire, PQ. I thought this was kind of interesting. It is a very rebel. This is a rebel deck, per se, right? But I thought it was kind of interesting that they were able to pull the Cassian show into this. I don't know, Sam, what's this list, Sam?
All right. We got Cassian Data Vault. We have 3 Rebel Assault, 2 Battlefield Marine, 3 Frisk, 2 Green Squadron A-Wing, 3 Karis, 3 Phoenix, 3 Sabine unit, 3 Blue Leader, 3 Cassian unit, 3 Fighters for Freedom, 3 Fleet Lieutenant, 3 Red 5, 3 Sundari, 3 For a Cause I Believe In, 2 Sudden Ferocity, 3 Cham, 3 K2SO, 3 Zaton Moj, 3 Adelphi Patrol Wing, 3 Poe, and 3 Cinta. In the side, we have 1 Precision Fire, 3 of the 1-cost 2/2 Loose Sentinel, 3 Outer Rim Constables, and 3 Wolf. So early game, it's just heavy Revel package. It's like the Sabine data vaults that we had floating around. Like that's what this deck reminds me of. And the let's see, yeah, Cinta and Cassian, that keeps everything is. It just looks like a standard Cassian list. The Frisk spice is different than what we usually see, like right about now, and the Wolf and Precision Fire being taken out of the set 1 box that no one had used in however many sets now. I like seeing all that stuff come back.
Yeah, well, I like the include of the guy that does the damage, right? The Zintar guy. Like I like that. I think that's really cool. But the bigger question is what is Frisk in there for? Like, is there a reason? Like, does he have like a weird synergy with something?
No, it's just upgrade 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That, and at best you're putting that on like one of the early A-wings. If your opponent doesn't have any space presence, then now you're upgrading that A-wing to punch harder. And yeah, I mean, it helps. It also helps if like somebody puts entrenched on somebody, you can defeat an upgrade and prevent that entrenched. Or like legal authority, for instance, as well. Like that's just like anti-upgrade tech that could really help.
Yeah, I think obviously the Champs and Duels is a smart ad for the deck, right? Because it's the auto ramp and it's a 5/4 with Cassian, and I think like Cassian's ability is neat, right? Like I think it's a neat ability that your units attack and they can't be like attacked back. I have a bad feeling that's going to become problematic next set if we don't get a lot of removal. But again, I could be wrong. But if you can't attack their units, what are what do you have to, like, how do you stop this list? I don't know, but this list does lose like what 80% of its cards in here too next set.
Yeah.
So, all right, the next list that I had was a Sabay Yellow. I think we'd gone over a Sabay Yellow maybe like a month ago, but I thought it was important enough. It's made some waves. This came in second. I think it's in Maryland. It came in second. And there was one that was in the top cut in Chicago this week. Today. So I thought we should probably give this list another look. And it's got, so I don't know if you remember, Sam, Paul from Locals like got me onto that Ascension cable, and man, I just love that card now. And it card's in here. Yeah. So JJ, what is this Sabay deck?
Yeah, so we got Sabay with Amnesty Housing. We got 2 copies of BD1, 1 JM Communications, 3 Hotshot Blasters, 3 Bail Organas, 3 Bravo Squadron Fighters, 3 L337s, 3 N1 Starfighters, 3 Bamboozles, 2 Breaking Ins, 3 Faith in Your Friends, 2 copies of Surprise Strike, 2 Ascension Cables, 3 Bodhi Rooks, 3 Millennium Falcons, 3 Sanctional Shuttles, 2 Stolen AT Haulers, 3 Cunnings, 2 Cantina Bouncers, 2 Light Makers, and 2 Plo Koons to finish off the list. And then the sideboard, we got a plethora of different items here, a lot of one-offs. Congrats, I applaud this. We got 2 more A-Wings, 1 Confiscate, 1 more Gem Communication, 1 additional Surprise Strike, 2 copies of the Pilot Millennium Falcon, 2 Pilot Hans, and 1 additional copy, or 1 copy rather, of Pilot Mandalorian to round off the list. This one plays really, really low to the ground, which makes sense, right? You're going to get Sabay out early on with the turn 5 drop, and hopefully you're setting yourself up to have to control your opponent's deck between Bamboozle, Breaking In, and Faith in Your Friends to play out some units out there. You're building up some of these lower cost units to really have like an early board presence, and then hoping to use Sabay to help discard cards that your opponent could possibly play on that turn, maybe messing up their flow. And this can potentially just stop your opponent from having a good board presence early on. The Sanctioner Shuttle definitely really strong in this because you can capture some of the early units early on, and that leaves them undefended. They're base undefended. You can push some damage out early, and then of course that stolen ET hauler is always great to have. Yeah, definitely a lot of. I'm definitely interested to see how well this plays early on against some of those early tempo decks like Han and stuff, but I also am curious to see how this does against Yoda as well. So yeah, I like this deck a lot.
I mean, Yoda doesn't like it when you dump the top card of their deck off, right?
Yep,
That they're planning to
exactly.
play.
Right, Sam? Right, Sam? Who's playing Yoda now?
Joke's on you. Just look at your opponent and it's like, nope, always bottom the Yoda card. That'll show 'em.
Yeah, it hurts. I don't want to talk about it.
This is a little okay. So I am less high on Bale than I was originally, and I only say that because like this deck has like only 3 card draw, and that's it. There's no other card draw in this deck, and like I find with Bale, he just fizzles after a little while. Like if I play him on 3 or 4 resources, I don't care. And there's no Palpatine. Where's my Chancellor Palpatine in this deck? That's what I want to know. If we're gonna play Bale, put Chancellor Palpatine in here, please.
You got the faith in your friends that make spies.
No, I know exactly. Yeah, I know that there's no Beguile in here either. Like that's a little Beguile would work very well in this deck too. I don't know. I like the deck as it is, except for I like the L337s. It makes sense because it technically just helps you fix the Sanctioner Shuttle issue that you run into with other pilot decks. It just fixes it for you. You don't even have to worry about it. But I don't like not having Han pilots in here, and I don't know between Bale and Bamboozle how you even have a hand, because Bale you don't have a hand, and now Bamboozle you're either paying the 2 costs all the time, which you don't want to do. You just want to discard for it, right? Like that's what we used to do. Like maybe Sam, you should play this deck because like you're used to only having 1 or 2 cards at hand. This would be perfect for you.
I'll try it.
Yeah, and then you could buy me the Space Showcase.
Keep hearing about that Sabe showcase.
Mm-hmm. Somebody get me a Space Showcase, please. I have a Han 1 showcase I would trade for. All right. I don't know. I like the deck. I think it's kind of cool. So. All right. The last deck we have is a deck I never thought I'd say made a top cut at a PQ. It still has that technically made a top cut, but it was very close. Like everybody that was on the bottom end of this top cut had the same record as this guy. So he could have very easily, with a little bit more MOV, been in top cut with this deck. It is a Rio Tarkintown. A Rio Tarkintown, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is a Rio Tarkintown. This is a space deck that is not Vader in villain. Alex, what's this deck?
Yeah, Rio Durant and Tarkentown. Rio Durant, for people who don't know what he does, as an action, you can spend a resource and attack with a space unit. It gets +1/+0 for the attack and Saboteur. And when he flips, he likes transports because they give him extra attack. So it's got triple A-Wing, triple the Crackshot V-Wing, a one-off Mining Guild TIE Fighter, triple Screeching TIE Fighter, triple Daring Raid, triple the Emissary Sheathapede, double Garindin, triple Kylo Silencer, double Breaking In, triple Surprise Strike, double Disabling Fang, triple Lurking TIE, Phantom, triple Sanctioner Shuttle, double the 7th Fleet Defender, triple Sudden Ferocity, double IG-2000, double Krennic Shuttle, triple Boba, naturally working with the transport synergy, double Vader Pilot, and double Ruthless Raider. In the side, you have double Forced Choke, a third Garindin, double No Good to Me Dead, the third Disabling Fang, 2 Chaos of War, which costs you 5, a third Vader Pilot, and a third Ruthless Raider.
So can I say, if you dump the Emissary Shuttles, add 2 more Mining Guild ties in, add another Y-wing, dump the Kylo shuttle or the Gardenians, you could just put Boshek in. Yep. I can already feel this as it becomes a Boshek deck, and then you can add an aggressive negotiations instead of Vader, or you could take out a couple of one of the Boba pilots and one of the Vaders and put 2 aggressive negotiations in, and you're cooking with gas.
Hey, Boba Pilot is 5 costs. He's odd. But also the emissary sheath if these are transports.
You're right, they are. I know. It's okay, fine. Get rid of the Kylo silencers. There you go. Let's just be ballsy and not have Kylo silencers instead then. But you could make this deck like a 1/3 deck for the most part, and I think it would work with Boshek.
You lose out on the IG-2000 and the shuttles, but also you probably get like the Mist Hunter. I'm actually kind of surprised the Mist Hunter's not in here.
Yeah.
It is a 3-cost transport.
Yep. That should be in here. Like, I think that would be better. I don't think you need that IG-2000 in here. I know it's a transport, but I don't know if you need that in here. I would not cut the Krennic shuttle, so I would still keep those. Yeah. I think no matter whether you want 1 and 3 drops for Boshek, I think you keep Krennic shuttle. I think you get rid of the Vaders. If you put Boshek,
Vader pilot's so good. I don't think putting Bosheks in there is worth cutting Vaders.
I don't know. I feel like you could turn this deck into a 1/3 deck though, pretty easily.
So how about this? How about substituting Kylo silencer for the HMP droid, because that's a transport, right? And then also having the aggressor that increases the indirect damage, and there are a couple of transports that deal indirect damage when they die or when they're deployed. So
yeah, that's a 4 cost, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't want that.
He's not saying for Boshek.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do like your idea of putting those 4/2s in. I do think that might actually be a good, because those deal the indirect damage, right? Yeah. And that's kind of nice. I don't know. I like this deck. Like, I can't wait to show my nephew. My nephew tried to play Rio forever, and it never worked for him.
I want a pre-release with Rio.
Yeah, I did not. You would be the only one. I think you were the only one. But yeah, I don't know. My nephew had a showcase for a little while and really wanted to play Rio, and like that's what he was playing. It's sad because now I wish we had built this deck back then, because I don't think in here there's anything.
On the Screeching Ties and the A-Wings, he kind of needed the better low drops.
But I don't know. I like the deck. I think this is kind of a neat thing that we have. So before
Still kind of prefer Von Reg, but
sure.
But Rio's a lot beefier.
Rio's beefier, and the Saboteur can come in handy. Let's be honest, especially in a blue-green hero meta that Sam has forced us to win. So it's all Sam's fault. All right. So before we move on, real quick, is there anything else you want to cover about PQs? Do we feel the PQ meta is shaping up to be like of big enough variety? Like, it's not. It didn't feel super Hani as much as we thought it would be, and it definitely was not Yodi. A little bit more Pelp probably than people liked, but
yeah, I mean,
it's like that.
I've definitely been paying extra attention to a lot of the PQ results because I got mine coming up next weekend, and like, you know, it seems like every week it tends to be different, right? Like we have a different variation of like the amount of like decks that are played and have won and taken out those PQs that, you know, it kind of keeps you guessing, you know, what should I get next? You know, what should I play next? And it feels good so far to see this variety of different winners for like PQs and stuff.
Sam?
It was definitely Hantu ECLE. Come on. Like that's like the one deck that I'm like, all right, I know I'm going to see probably 13 to 15 of those at the Holland PQ, just because that's the biggest deck. Like, that's the Han 1 green of set 3 right now. Like, that's the one deck you know is going to show up wherever you're going. But I don't know. I like it. I like this meta right now.
Alex?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, a bunch of different variety. Whatever.
Jabba-less, right? Feels like it could be a little more Jabba in play.
Hey, he won that limited.
Well, it just feels like you and I need to rep some Jabba here.
Yeah,
Coming
I just
up.
need to, if I were to bring the Java deck, I need to like add late game into the sideboard because there's a lot of late game stuff right now.
Sounds like we got a task to do.
I don't want to play Java where I'm just like, and I dropped the Annihilator. Rather just play Emperor Palpatine or like Iden.
Fair enough. All right, we're going to move on. The last segment we're going to cover tonight is Tilburg. It is the Netherlands sector qualifier. I really wanted to cover this tonight, and I was almost going to hold off, and then because I was gone all weekend, and then I was like, nope, I'm going to buckle down, get some statistics together, and I actually want to talk through it. Now, this is going to be a lot less list intensive. I do have the top 4 lists. I don't know how, I think they're fine to go through. I will tell you that, going through even the top 16, there's not a lot of diversity. There's not a ton of diversity between the top, even 30. There is diversity, but it's all the stuff we've already seen. So there's nothing crazy new that came out. So what that tells me, right, typically is that we have, the meta going into this, they felt was solved enough that they didn't want to try a bunch of new crap.
I was going to say, what this tells me is that everyone's a bunch of cowards.
Fair enough. But that type of this is kind of why I wanted to break the segments up, because I feel, when we talk about PQ analysis, people can bring what they want. We talk, Alex is talking about bringing Palpatine, set 1 Palpatine Tarkin Town, or I don't know, what's the other deck you were contemplating next, or Lamasu. Right, that's you wouldn't spend $300-400 and go to a sector qualifier if you didn't think that was actually a extremely viable deck. You just wouldn't do that. We're definitely not going to see Sam play Nelise at the sectors in Minnesota. No, we're not. Don't even.
If I win or top 4 APQ with either Nelise or Padme, I'll probably put it in my top 2 on rotation of which decks that I'll bring to a sector, or not the sector to.
You're not guaranteeing me anything, so it doesn't mean anything. So when you say I will do, if I top 4, I will bring that deck to the sectors, then okay, cool. But
okay, fine. If I top 4 with that deck, I'll bring Padme Yellow to Wisconsin.
Okay, because that's what you're telling me here. That's what I'm hearing. That's what my whole point is that people aren't taking. They're taking the safe routes, and that's why we're seeing a little bit less diversity, though Sabay had a big uptick at this sector. So
I don't like that.
So if we look kind of the day 1 decks, so you could see Han Solo was the most represented deck choice or leader, I guess, outside of the others, which I don't know what others means, but that's probably people that didn't submit decks.
All the other ones that are listed, right?
Oh. All right, fair enough then. Okay. I thought it meant that they didn't submit a deck. That was my theory, but you're probably right.
Yeah, the ones of the 10 or whatever they didn't list.
Yeah. Yoda coming in second, and then Piat. There's Piats were the 3rd highest represented deck. So when we talk about going to local PQs, Piat is represented. Don't get me wrong. There is Piats that are coming, but in this meta, Piat seems to be a lot more represented than we're seeing at PQ levels. What made day 2? Han Solo.
It's the same 3.
Yep, Han Solo, Yoda, and Piat. Now,
and 4 Sabines.
Yep, and 4 Sabines, that's what I wanted to call out, was the big difference, because Sabine doesn't show up as one of the top decks over here, but 4 of them made day 2. So that my belief is we will see a little bit of a resurgence in Arizona of Sabine, because people are like, oh, look, this is still a viable deck. Who knew? Actually, I'm not even showing you my screen. There we go. Now you can see my screen. That was crazy of me. The other big call out is, seeing that Cad Bane is in there. There was 17 Cad Banes, 3 of them made day 2. That was pretty good, right? Of the Sabays, they had 19 and only 3 made day 2. Han Solo won, and it doesn't tell us whether it. I didn't put in there whether it was a yellow,
It was
a yellow
probably
or green. And I think you're right, Sam, but I did not put that in there. But I thought that was very interesting. Vader still made a showing. We had 2 Palpatines in there. Anakin still made a showing, and Vader still made a showing. The big one that you don't see very many of that had 1 or less decks would have been Boba Fett. So Boba Fett still had 13 people. So my belief is that people who were playing Boba Fett probably switched to Piat, right? That is that kind of the gut feel people have, or no?
Yeah, I think so. I think Piat right now is definitely a little more viable than Boba Fett, because Piat has gained a lot of extra tools that help him ramp up between the resupply carrier and the Gonk droid. Piat now can very effectively deploy some of the bigger capital ships much earlier, making him more of a bigger threat for sure.
Yep. Now, one of the things I want to know, and I think this is important statistic-wise, right? And I don't have a graphic for it because I didn't feel like making you a graphic for this. But if you look at what you need to do is take the total list for that leader and then divide them by, the total number of leaders for that day, and that tells you what the that'll tell you what your percentage is. So, for example, Piat is 9% of the meta, but yet he brought home 11. He hit day 2 with 11%. So he actually overperformed where he was supposed to sit. Whereas Yoda, right, was 13% of the meta. And brought home almost 16%. So Yoda overperformed, right? And so those are kind of the things that, like, if it were me and I was going to a sector tomorrow, I would look at that. So Piat's doing very well compared to his field, let's say, but still not as well as Yoda or Han Solo, right? So that'll tell us in your next sector, you're going to see probably a little bit more Piats played, possibly because Piat is still overperforming. I don't know. What do you guys think so far of the leaders that we're seeing the top 2 days? Alex?
I mean, it's kind of what people have been playing for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
With like Han 2 and Yoda. People are just bringing some safe stuff and then put many, probably hundreds of hours into their decks, right? So the people who've played the deck extensively are probably doing pretty well.
So then if we look at the top deck just for the bases, it's green, and green. There you go. So that's probably a problem, I would think, at this point. You had 150 out of 470 or 77 decks were just data vote alone. Like, you had 242 decks out of 477 that were green bases. So I think we might have a little bit of a green problem. If we move on and we kind of look at just the aspects, that kind of exemplifies it, right? So command and heroism are the top 2 aspects, with the third one being aggression, right? And then villain is falling in very shortly or very far behind that. So villain is a lot less than hero by not quite, I would say like 3/4 of the hero decks are villain, right? So I don't know if that's bad. Is that really that bad? I don't think that is that bad. I will say the conversion rate, though, for going into day 2, only 16 decks, villain decks, made it day 2, whereas 47 hero decks made it day 2. That I feel is a little bit more of a problem. What do you guys think?
I mean, there's a lot of good leaders in hero right now, so that kind of tracks.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of it's harder for villainy to contain a lot of the like unit cheating or in like unit replacement that hero does, right? With like Karis, for example, right? Just being able to replace themselves with a spy, or just Queen Amidala coming in and having the staying power plus extra units. So that's hard for like villainy typically to contain over the course of games.
Yeah. I also threw in there just kind of like a quick analysis, and this is really not analysis. There's a quick numbers. If you look at the leaders for the sets, right? So if you look at all the different leaders, the top leader is the top set is Shadows of the Galaxy, and then jump to Lightspeed. That's crazy though, right? Like, for as much as we've crapped all over Shadows of the Galaxy, they were like that and Jump to Lightspeed were the top represented leaders that were being played. If you look at Top Cut, or the day 2, I guess it's not Top Cut, but day 2, the top is Shadows of the Galaxy again. So the best conversion rate is Shadows of the Galaxy League, which of course is what, Han? Like Han. And whereas Twilight is kind of the next in line. So all right, well, let's move on to our actual top cuts. And as you can see here, we have Simp and Benton got paired up against each other. Do we think that's fair? Is that fair, guys? That feels like that feels good, right? 2 Han ECLs having to duke it out together.
Hey, you like how the top 8 was all green?
Yeah, it was all green. It's definitely going to attract FFG's attention for this one. I like
yellow.
No yellow. I like that a Kylo Data Vault beat out a Pelp Colossus, right? That's crazy to me. I
don't, but I get it.
That's hilarious. Like it did, but Alex, that's good for us if we want to run Pelp Colossus because more people will run Kylo than Pelp now.
Yeah, but like Kylo beats the Pelp.
I guess it does. I don't know how it does. I'll be honest, I don't know how it does. We're gonna look at that Kylo list though, in fairness, tonight. So
yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to see what that Pelp list is.
Yeah, I did not pull the Pelp list.
Check that one out.
I was more like, hey, let's look at this Kylo list. So there's your Yoda Data Vaults. A Sabine ECL actually made it into top. 3 Han, 2 ECLs made it into top cut. So there's that. I pulled
I don't know why I beat that list. Okay.
All right. Well, we could talk about that in a minute, actually.
Yeah.
Han 2 Blue. So I actually pulled top 16 in terms of like the people for it, like because I thought it would be interesting to say, okay, hey, we have a Han 2 Blue, we have another Han 2 ECL, another Yoda. We did have a Sabine or a Sabay Tarkin make it in there, and or 2 of them, sorry. And then we also had another Piat and a Sabine Yellow make it in there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. That Sabine Yellow list is nothing like super crazy different than what we'd seen before. But yeah. So let's get into a couple of the top lists, and then we can kind of talk a little bit about some of the other underlying things. The first one we have is a Han 2 ECL list. JJ, what is this list, and is this what you're going to run for your PQ?
I'm actually considering it for sure. So, but yeah, we got the set 2 Han with ECL. We got 1 timely intervention, 1 hotshot blaster. Already strong start. We got 2 Gungis, 3 Karis, 3 pilot Luke Skywalkers, 2 copies of the Outer Rim Constables, 3 blue leaders, 2 Cassian Andors, 3 Grogus, 2 Obi-Wan Kenobis, 3 at Red 5s, 3 Sabine Masterpieces, 2 General's Blades, 2 Champs and Doulas, 3 copies of the Heroic Arc 170s, 3 Pilot Poe Damerons, which are fantastic, 3 of the set 2 Poe Dameron leader, or ground unit rather, 3 Queen Amidala's, 1 Crucible, 1 Guerrilla Attack Pod, 3 Wreckers, and 1 Kelleran Beck to round off the list. And then on the sideboard, we have 2 Green Squadron A-Wings, 1 1 additional Cham Syndulla, 3 modded cohorts, 1 Darksaber, 1 additional Gorilla Pod, 1 additional Kellerin Beck, and 1 clone card, which is actually really, really spicy there. You can possibly use that to get like a second Wrecker out on the board, or another Queen Amidala on there. Yeah, just depending on how your cards play out. But definitely really, really good. You have a lot of great options to use Han with to deploy out onto the board there. Between the Luke Skywalker being able to be deployed on a space unit like Sabine's Masterpiece or Blue Leader, and then when that unit gets defeated, you can deploy that as a ground unit later on. Just gives you a lot of constant units out there. Poe Dameron, pilot, being able to deploy a token, and then you can put them on a ship. Really strong, especially if you already have a ship already ready. You're essentially getting a free token and then putting Poe as an upgrade to another ready ship to do a lot of damage out there. Gungi with General's Blade early on does a lot of damage as well. And then you have Grogu, which is actually a staple right now that I've seen for Han. You're already getting units out damaged. You can use Grogu to essentially deal out that 2 damage to another unit that's out on the board. That tends to kill a lot of the early plays for a lot of other units that are out already. So it's really strong right off the bat. So a lot of great tools on here. And yeah, I can see why this does really, really well.
Oh, JJ, you haven't lived until you shoved a Poe pilot into your Gorilla attack pod.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, man, that's great.
Just give it 3 more health. It's really silly. I've done
it's
that.
dirty. It's weird. There's only one
Nobody
timely in here, though, right? Like,
it is weird.
Don't they usually run 3 timelies?
Yeah,
I've seen usually at least 2.
I mean, this is Sip's
sideboard,
list.
right?
No.
I've always seen them in main decks. That's why, like, I've never seen a blaster main deck in a Han 2 ECL either. So that's a little different too for me. I mean, I guess it makes sense because everybody thinks that they should just pay 5 for that card, and yeah. But I don't know. I like the Sabine's because this almost feels a little bit less space intensive, is it not?
I see it's pretty
a fair
even.
bit of space.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because Poe really counts
the
as
red
like
5s, the blue leaders, the masterpiece, and the heroic.
Yeah.
And the crucible, I guess, but
I assume that's only there for the, like, if you actually build a board. Like, otherwise, why do you use Crucible? I don't know. Like, one of, I guess, whatever. I have one. I ran one of in my Vader deck for a little while, but I don't know. It's a cool deck, kind of. It's a little weird to see the Mandalorian blade also in the side. I don't know. The sideboard choices are.
Well, it worked
different.
out for him, right? They won a 477 person tournament.
It did, yeah. But this is, if you're people playing Han 2, this is what I would expect. Sam, is this close to what you've been testing against with the Yoda Red that you've been playing?
I'm actually
Against, yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. The only real difference I'm seeing is the one-off of Crucible. Usually I'm seeing like 2 or 3 Crucible rather than attack pod anymore, and I'm not entirely sure why. But yeah, I like it.
I mean, you can drop it on like Han's flip turn, I guess, to give him an experience, right? I'm actually a little bit surprised there's no crate dragons like in the sideboard.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thought that, sometimes the game might go a little bit long. You might want the crate dragons.
Well, you have your one clone, so you can clone the other crate, right?
Yeah. Clone the other crate dragons so
that they had.
You only eat 7 instead of the 9.
Yeah, see, I like it. All right,
the modded cohorts, underrated card.
Yeah, I like those too. I think they're smart, like, to have that in there because it allows you
really good into the Han 2 mirrors.
Yeah, and there was a lot of Han 2 mirrors that were played, so that was my assumption. Is that's what that's for? My assumption also was the clone is possibly for the mirror as well, more or less than anything else, because it allows you to keep on par with whatever they have, no matter what. I don't like seeing only one.
Lets you kill Grogu and live on turn 2.
That's true. Yep. It is crazy. All right, well, let's move on to the number 2 deck is Yoda Data Vault. Sam, you played Yoda. This looks like a very standard
Yep.
Woo list, though.
Hmm.
I don't know if there's anything
I don't
that
think it
much
changed.
different other than maybe the sideboard change. I think the sideboard's different.
I think they swapped out a Caloran for like an Obi-Wan, right?
Yeah, that's
But go
pretty
ahead.
much the only
Yeah.
main difference.
Why don't you go over the list anyway? I know we went over Yoda a couple weeks ago. Let's go over this anyway and talk a little bit about this deck.
Sure. So Yoda Data Vault, we have running 2 mainboard Confiscate, which is the only thing that's different to me about all this. And the 3 Battlefield Marine, 3 Gonk, 3 Mina, 3 Phoenix Squadron A-Wing, 1 Yaddle, 2 Spark of Hope, 3 Blue Leader, 3 Obi, 3 Village, 3 Resupply, 3 Your Manly Hope, 2 Bright Hope, 3 Typho, 2 Takedown, 3 Amidala, 3 Vanquish, 3 Resupply Carrier, 2 Rivals, 2 Kelleran, 3 Luke, 2 Home 1, 3 Bow. And in the side, we have 3 Eager Escorts, 2 Fell, 1 Timely Reinforcements, 2 Hyperspace Disaster, an extra Kelleran, and an extra Home 1. Yeah, I mean, this is what Yoda Green kind of became last set, except the new changes of Bow, Queen, and Typho. But I like it. Like, Yoda's the best deck in the game right now, depending on which color you're in.
The green's the best, right? You know, so I don't know how much we had to talk about this. I still think all these vanquishes over Fells is just weird for me, but whatever. I don't know.
It's technically more versatile.
It is technically more versatile.
I mean, you're my only hope. It is a little bit better than like Foul, right? Because they typically wouldn't have something that strong out at that time, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that, again, I think this is the standard Yoda list. I don't know how much we have to talk. We talk about Yoda too much, I think. I'm not surprised Han 2 ECL beat this, though. So, all right, let's move on to the number 3 list we have is Kylo Data Vault. Alex, what is this? What is this list? Why is this not Palpatine? Help me understand this list, because there's not a ton of upgrades in here comparatively to what we normally see Kylo with.
I mean, you have a fair bit. You have 14, so I mean, there's Data Vault.
True.
Yeah, so it's Blue Kylo Data Vault. So you have 1 main deck restock, baby. Triple Timely Intervention, double top target, triple Pershing, triple Entrenched, triple the Heirloom Lightsaber. That will come into play a little bit later. Triple Legal Authority, triple Super Laser Tech, triple Power, triple Resupply, double Condemn, double Chilson, triple Vigilance, triple No Glory, triple Craving Power, triple Anakin to go with that Heirloom Lightsaber. Double Blue Vader, double Pulse Return, double Hyperspace Disaster, double Reinforcement Walk, triple Snoke, triple Super Laser Blast, a main deck Relentless, like they should, double Green Devastator, double Annihilator. In the side, you got a 3rd top target, double Eager Escort Fighter, a 3rd Chilton, 2 Slime More, 2 Bounty Hunter Crew off aspect, a 3rd Palps Return, a 3rd Hyperspace Disaster. This looks exactly like a blue-green villainy deck that I would make. It just wouldn't be with Kylo.
Yeah. You would have different upgrades. You don't need the legal authority, right? You know, you don't need the Jedi
Right,
heirloom
we need the
lightsabers.
Heirloom lightsaber. But other than that, like it's kind of what I would run.
There would be one more reinforcement walker. Period. Like, there is not a question.
I'd
in
also
that.
main deck double Relentless.
Yeah.
It's weird that there's not even a second one in the side, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know how, like, I don't know how they get away with that at all. Like, and that's the thing is, like, they don't have, this deck doesn't have a ton of space presence either, right? Like, you could be running the Supremacy tie SFs, right? Like, those are pretty good to have. And they're blue-green villainy, so, I don't know. I I don't have a problem with this list. I don't know if Kylo's the way to go with it though. I mean, it did get top 3, right?
Yep.
But I don't know
I
if
mean,
this is the
also
way to go.
it's very control, right? Like, so theoretically, you could be at like 15 resources and get around to deploying Kylo, right? Like double stack a craving power and an heirloom lightsaber and a couple legal authorities or something.
I mean, and then do you just where's my one snapshot reflex, right? Like, why wouldn't you just have one of those in there? That way, if you're playing against another villainy control deck, like you could just play that on Kylo and just swing into base and be done with it, you know?
But I understand why you beat the Palp Colossus deck, because the Palp Colossus deck doesn't have an endgame like this. The Palp Colossus deck had double Annihilator, 1 Green Devastator, double Avenger, and triple Reinforcement Walker, and that's it. For anything 8 and above. So if you're both trying to hard control each other, you both main deck triple Vigilance. And then one of them main decks a restock and you don't. And they have a better end game.
I'm a little surprised. Like, I don't think you put the 3rd top target in. I think you put a 2nd restock in there. Personally.
Oh, I could see that. I wouldn't do the... I probably wouldn't do a 3rd hyperspace disaster.
Okay. So fine.
I'd probably just do a 2nd restock there. Because, like, you already have double Slimeor, right? And that's not doing the same thing, but it does slow things down enough that, like, you could probably get around to getting another hyperspace disaster if you're really that worried about space.
Yeah, I mean, and you're putting your bounty hunter crews in, right, to recur those, so it makes sense if you needed to. Yeah, so you really don't need that. I mean, and I think the Pelt's Return being main decked is so nice because you could just, you know, use it to, like, replay your Anakin again if you need to. So yeah, so you could timely your Anakin in, and when they decide to kill your Anakin, you just Pelt's Return it next turn and
you can,
kill
like,
2 more things.
You can pitch Snoke with Kylo's ability, right? And then just Palp's return him on 6 resources.
Yep.
Right, so that's a pretty nice combo as well.
Yep. But I agree with you. I would have 2 Relentless as well in there. But I would have a 3rd Walker and a 2nd Relentless. And that's what I ran when I ran one when I did Kira at the RXL PQ or whatever. I had 1 Relentless in the side and 1 main deck. That way, if I ran against other Kiras, I would always have another Relentless that they didn't have. Could just shut Kira's down.
And I'm not sure if this is a common thing, but, like, I've outed Relentlesses before and have Relentlesses outed on me, like, frequently by just playing 2 events, right?
Yes.
Like, there's ways of getting around it. Yeah, it kind of sucks, but, like, you can get around 1 Relentless. A 2nd Relentless, a little bit more frustrating to get around if you don't have, like a Devastator, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a timely intervention from Moreau that you just burn and say, screw that, right? Like, I'm going to burn my timely intervention for nothing. And
oh no, I played a resupply.
Yep.
Now here's a Fell the Dragon.
Yeah. So I like this deck. This deck doesn't have Fells in it either, though. So there you go. That's like, that's why this is not like this is just a weird.
Have rivals either. That's the crazy thing in my head. There's no rivals in the 70 cards.
Nope. I don't know. I didn't look at the path for this, but like, this is going to be something people are going to play. That's what's going to happen. I don't know. Maybe I'll build a version of this to torture Sam at locals. How does this do into your Yoda Red, Sam?
25 in my favor, 75 in theirs. Like, not a good matchup at all.
All right. I think I'm building this tonight to take with me. All right. The last list I had, because like I said, there's so many duplicates in the top. I didn't really want to go over all the stuff. I don't know how helpful this is for people. That's like, I feel like a discussion is more helpful than like going through the list. This is a different Yoda list. This Yoda list, though, was main decking clones, and they properly had Fells in there. So I'm going to give them credit for having Fells in there, but they also ran 3 regional governors. Main deck 3 regional governors. That's spicy. And no Bright Hopes main deck. They just said we don't need Space Sentinels. I don't know. I want to know what the charge with corruption in this deck is for. Why are people running charge with corruption in Yoda decks? Is there a reason that I just don't know?
I mean, you get stuff across arenas.
Is that why? Is that why they're doing it?
That would make sense in my head, right?
Okay.
You just said they don't have space sentinels, so you just capture their stuff.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they have eager escorts and blue leaders and stuff like that.
I mean, they have other things too, yes, but like also you can capture across arenas with the Church with Corruption.
Okay. So yeah, so I didn't know if we should go over this list. I thought this list was more interesting. Like this is more of a Tanner style Yoda list. I think if I were to run Yoda, I would like this better.
It's more control-y.
Yeah, and that's me. So Sam's maybe I'll build this Yoda. Sam, does this Yoda beat your Yoda?
No, I have not lost to a Yoda data vault in the 30 games that I've played.
All right, Alex, we need to test this Yoda data vault against Sam's Yoda Red, and if it beats Sam's Yoda Red, then Sam can go home and cry a little bit. You'll be happy at least you sold your showcase, Sam, so that way you don't have to feel bad that you sold it and can't take it to win a PQ with.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know. Like, you tell me. Do you guys like? Is this? I don't know. Does this doesn't excite me a ton. When we go back up and kind of look at what the top is, like I am excited to see a Pelp in there. I do wonder if like another like if you ran a normal Pelp Colossus, if you would be able to get into the top. Because I will say I don't think Pelp Colossus beats Han 2 ECL as easily as like people think it does. I think it struggles
I don't think
immensely
it beats it at all.
into it. What was that? Sorry.
Oh, I don't think the Palp Colossus beats the Han ECL at all.
Yeah. So I don't know. So this didn't feel very diverse for this one. So sectors are not feeling diverse, whereas PQs
Cowards.
PQs feel diverse. You know. I don't know. Anybody have anything else on sectors before we wrap up for the night?
In every case, you know, the best thing you can do is always just practice. If you feel like you have a bad matchup with a particular deck, try playing against it. You know, sometimes making a different decision or slotting in a different sideboard sometimes can help you give you answers for dealing with those bad matchups. You know, the worst thing you want to do is go into a match and think, oh, I'm going to lose, and right off the bat, and you just kind of just go through the motions. Sometimes you never know. Sometimes your opponent can end up with a bad draw off the bat, and if you can capitalize on that, even those bad matchups can become winnable. So, you know, get those matches in, practice against those situations, and you never know, you can come up on top.
Yeah, I mean, your opponents could always make mistakes. Happens all the time.
Nice. I watched it on stream today. When I didn't data vault when they claimed it, I didn't data vault could have healed and didn't heal multiple times, and I just wanted to scream at them and be like, "Hello, how are you? Like, you're not even getting initiative. Like, at least use your heal. Like, I don't know if it saves you, but you know, use your damn heal." So, well, all right. Well, I think that wraps it up. Tonight was a little bit more PQ sector qualifier heavy. Next week is Arizona. So I think we will probably look at Arizona in a similar light. I don't want to go into like super detail if all the decks are the same. Like I don't know. I don't find that fun. And I do know like regional qualifiers might have a little bit more diversity, but I'm guessing it's not. Based on the testing group that I'm part of, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that much more diverse. So, we'll see though. So different people, maybe we'll get lucky. Is anybody going to Arizona? Are you going to Arizona, Sam?
No, I know Matthew Rice is, and somebody else. I don't remember who specifically, but.
All right. Well, either which way, good luck to anybody in Arizona. We will be back next week with another amazing episode of Planning Phase Syndicate. Thank you all. Have a good night, and we'll see you on the Flippity Flop.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening.